Hey class, here's your mini tutorial on rounding whole numbers. So before we actually get into rounding, a lot of kids or even adults, ask, well, why do we even need to learn how to round? Well, why? We actually use it a lot. It's important. We want to estimate, and it helps give us an easier numbers to work with or understand. So a thought with that could be this. Say you collected 979 items or dollars. It's easier to wrap my head around a rounder number like 1,000 if we rounded that. So you collected around 1,000 of something or $1,000 rather than something so specific as $979. So generally we've been following a few steps in the class. Number one, we want to find the place value you need to round. Number two, we look to the digit to the right. Number three, we're going to round up if it's greater than 5 or round down if it's 4 or less. So let's use a number to start to get this in action. So say for example, Leo went out and he got 289 cookies. That's a lot of cookies there, Leo. And we want to round that. So we're going to round it to the nearest hundreds. Okay, so we found that place value, the hundreds place value we need to round. We're going to look to the digit to the right. In this case, it's an 8. And we're going to use that rule of if it's 5 or greater, if it's greater than 5, we're going to round that place value up. Or if it's 4 or lower, we're going to round to the lower place value. So 289, there's a 2, I look to the right. 8 is definitely greater than 5. So we would need to round 200 up to the next 100, which is 300. So the answer would be 300 rather than 200, which is the lower place value, 100's place value down. It's not closer to that because the 8 was 5 or greater. So let's just take a look at, let's practice with another larger number. So let's use the number 3,476. So say Mackenzie bought 3,476 pieces of licorice. That's a lot as well. And we want to round to the nearest 1,000. So we have to find the place value we need to round. In this case, it's the thousandths place value. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. There's my thousandths place value. And we're going to look to the digit to the right. In this case, it's a 4. So I'm using this rule. If it's 4 or less, we're actually going to round down to the lower 1,000. So the higher 1,000 would be one more than this. So instead of 3,000, it's 4,000. Or the lower 1,000 is obviously 3,000. So after looking to the digit to the right and realizing it's 4 or less, we aren't going to round up. We're actually going to round to the lower 1,000, which is 3,000. So using a little bit of a word problem here, let's say Emma, she went out and bought 7,049 One Direction stickers because she loves One Direction. We want to round to the nearest 1,000 to show the approximate number of stickers she bought. So let's go to the question. So she bought 7,049 tickets because we like to use the data from the question. And we also need to round to the nearest 1,000. Oops, I'm supposed to be underlining that. So I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000. So I'm looking at my number here. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. I'm going to underline that. I always like to underline it so I know which number, which place value I need to round. I'm going to look to the digit to the right. It's a 0. Well, gee, 0 is way less than 5. It's 4 and under, definitely. So I'm going to round this place value, the thousandths place value, I'm going to round that to the lower thousands. So the upper thousands would be 8,000, but I'm not going to round to that because this is a 0, 4 or under. So I'm going to round that to 7,000. So in this case, Emma bought around, because I'm estimating and I'm rounding, around 7,000 stickers. Wow.